Happy Monday to you, and I'm coming to you live from CLE. Matt Milia here, and my inspiration for the video today, it was funny because I was looking at some of the common threads, the conversations, the questions that a lot of people have about leads and generating all these leads and how they can get more leads so that they can sell more homes. And the funny thing is that, what's up, Steve? So the funny thing is with leads, and everyone's looking for ways that they can market, ways that they can get more opportunities. And of course, a lot of people are doing it on a shoestring budget, which, hey, I get it. Especially when you're first getting into the industry, everyone's trying to pull at you to buy this lead gen system, go into this, invest your money in Facebook ads, invest your money into, buy Zillow leads, buy Realtor.com leads. But the one thing that I discovered that's been absolutely phenomenal, and one of my clients actually made it well over, and I have clients that made more than this, but this is just specifically my client, made over $80,000 and spent zero on marketing. Now, I have a confession to make. The client did spend a significant amount of money on having an inside sales rep call for him every month, but hey, he didn't spend money on the leads. So, but you can do this. You don't need to have an inside sales rep. That's the cool thing, especially when you first get started. And even if you suck at sales, you're not great on the phone, it's really easy to do this. And so many people neglect these leads. So I was an inside sales rep. That's how I got my start in the business. And I had absolutely crippling call reluctancy. And that's something I really, shameful to admit it now, but when I first got into the business, even in the real estate end, it had resurfaced. I was in mortgages for years and was calling for Quicken Loans, which I don't know if any of you guys, I'm sure a lot of people in here have heard of Quicken Loans, but Quicken Loans is probably one of the best training. It's one of the best training places out there, period. But even then, even after I had all that great training, I still had some call reluctancy just because I had never done it on the real estate side. And the funny thing is when I was making these calls, it was really interesting because I started off with expireds, and I loved expireds. I was really good at it. But FSBOs always were a pain in the ass. I don't know what it was. They were always hard-headed. They didn't want to have a conversation with me. And it made it really challenging to convert them at a high level until I discovered one little tweak in my approach, and it's worked wonders. So the reason why I want to share all this with you is because I know that when you're brand new to the business or you don't have a ton of money to invest in advertising, the one thing that's challenging is you don't know where to put your money. The little money that you do have that you either want to reinvest or whatever you want to do with it, you don't really know where to put it. And what I would do is the first thing I would look at, and this is a little secret that a lot of people, I thought it was common knowledge, but I guess it's not. Earlier today, what sparked this up as well is that a phone call came in. When the call came in, they were looking for inside sales services. When I was talking to them, the first thing they told me was, hey, I have expired leads, but I don't know where to get FSBO leads. I'm thinking, Zillow? I thought that was common knowledge, but I guess it isn't. If you go onto Zillow and literally you look up on Zillow, you can see in there, you go to where it says sales, and then it'll say for sale by a listing agent, it'll say sale by owner, and then it'll say foreclosure. So I unclick every single one of those except for sale by the owner. Once I see the sale by the owner, I literally go in there, I grab that phone number, and it's a super easy, super simple conversation. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill or effort. And the greatest thing about it is that when I talk to them, the first thing they always tell me is, hey, do you have a buyer? Of course, I tell them, hey, you know what? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I have no idea if I have a buyer without coming to see it. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to set aside some time, do a quick preview of the house, see what you have to offer. And then, of course, while I'm there, I'm going to share my marketing strategies with you. So that way, when you decide to hire an agent, you'll have someone that you know and trust to help you sell your home. Sound fair enough? Great. When's a good time for us to meet? Very rarely do people turn that down, but it's I just gave you part of my script. So either way, I hope you use that and get value from it. But the approach to these leads is really, really simple. I'm coming in, I want to help you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to help you out, and I want to take a look at the home and see what we can do to help you get top dollar for it. But go into Zillow, and another great thing that you can do inside of Zillow, and a lot of people don't know this, these leads are the easiest, and they close. They close left and right. So Make Me Move. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of those leads, if you had success with them. Make Me Move leads are great because people will put some wild ass outlandish amount and say, oh, I think my house is worth $1 million when it's a $400,000 house. And they'll put some outlandish number out there, but they're just doing it because they're, hey, Amy, we talked earlier. That's awesome. So they put this outlandish number out there because they think that they're going to be able to attract a buyer or somebody that's literally going to pay their price in terms at $1 million. It's not going to happen. But when you talk to them, they have very few people that have called them because most agents will look at it, they'll overanalyze it, they get stuck, and then they're thinking, wow, I'm not going to call this person. I mean, that's way too much for me to. That's way too much for me to go and try to sell that person because they think the house is worth $1 million. I can't tell you how many times I've made calls before and literally set up appointments for the agents that I was calling for as an inside sales rep at the time. And the person would be like, oh, you know what? I was just kicking around tires. I wanted to see what the house would go for, but I actually am really interested. I was thinking about selling within the next couple of months. Great. When can we come out and talk about our home selling system? So really, really easy thing to do. And I want to share with you guys one other just ninja technique. And I mean, this thing has worked time and time again when it comes to selling by owner. So there's this a program out there, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's a pretty interesting, unique selling proposition. And this thing has it's outperformed anything else I've ever tried. So when you go in, you talk to them about your Smart Seller program. You've got a program, it's a Smart Seller home selling system, Smart Seller program, however you want to call it. The cool thing about this program is you literally can offer to them and say, hey, you know what? What if I told you that I'd sell your house for 1%? Of course, you're gonna be like, well, what's the catch? Hey, you know what? There's absolutely, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Instead of me going through that with you, why don't I show you and we can talk about it in person? So now you get into the house, get into the marketplace. And the cool thing with the Smart Seller system, the way that it works, super, super easy. And I've used this USP in many marketplaces. I've used it in Cleveland, I've used it in Colorado, Oregon, Florida. I mean, I can keep going. I've used it in many marketplaces, and here's why it works. With the Smart Seller system, you literally tell them, look, if you sell the house on your own, so meaning you procure the buyer, you get somebody that's willing to pay your price in terms, hey, you know what? I'm only going to charge you the 1% for the paperwork. But if I bring somebody in, you're paying a full 6%. So all of a sudden, they turn it into a game. They're like, oh, all right, well, I know a lot of people that saw the house. I'll get a buyer before you will. Well, here's what a lot of people don't realize. When you put the house up on the MLS, it's going to literally pull all of Zillow's stats from for sale by owner out. And it's going to put you as a listing agent, which means you're going to immediately gain massive market authority. And there's absolutely no way that they're going to be able to pull that down. So every call that comes in is going to be for you. The likelihood of that person selling by themselves is slim to none. So Andrew asked, will there be a replay of this? I'm going live. So, I mean, yeah, I go live. My goal is to actually go live in here every single day. So, yeah, it'll be in here for sure. And I'll save it. What's up, Bill? So yeah, I mean, guys, that's really it. If you want to get some more really high-level tips on how you can maximize FSBOs and how you can break into a marketplace and have absolutely so you don't have to spend so much money on leads. I just wrote a book, awesome book. I'm going to actually put it in the comments, but you're going to go to www.mattmilliabook.com. And what I'm going to do for you guys as well, and I put this in there and I kind of question it because, I mean, I'm letting this thing go for under $10, but I'm actually sharing all of our call center scripts. So all the scripts that we use within our call center, I'm going to share that with you guys, $9.97. And of course, I have a guarantee on it. If you don't like it, let me know. I'll give you back your money and I'll let you keep everything anyways. So you can go to my site. It's www.mattmilliabook.com. Really awesome book, super easy read, 36 pages. But I'll go into more in depth and in detail with the for sale by owner system and of course how you can maximize it, because everyone in here, I've noticed everyone's looking for leads for free. And this is probably one of the easiest places to get leads. But it's so, I don't want to say it's ignored. I would say that most agents shy away from it because they think that these guys are just kicking tires and they're not interested. And hey, that might be the case, but you'll never know until you find out. I'm going to show you a way to do it in the book so that you don't sound salesy or gimmicky and you can literally come off as an expert and as an authority figure every single time. So I hope you got a lot out of this video. And you know, I hope as well that if you like this video and if you got some value out of it, share it. Get it out in front of as many people as you can, because really I'd love to just help people out and share some of these awesome, unique selling propositions that some of the gurus out there don't want to share. But I think that it's important that you know about them, because we're all in this together. So hope that you have an awesome Monday. Have a great rest of your day, and looking forward to seeing how things go with y'all tomorrow. See you.